Hi everyone, my name is Ruth Johnson. I'm an independent change management and HR consultant, and my company is called Reinvent People Management. I really essentially eat, sleep and breathe people development. That's what I'm about. Before I go into the 5 tips, I want to say 2 things to candidates when they are starting to apply for jobs or even thinking about it. And the first thing is to know your why. What is it that you want to do or achieve with your next job application? Are you just looking for a job because we all need to work and there's nothing wrong with that? Is it a promotion you're looking for, or is it a different skill set that you want to learn or enhance? And the other thing for you to do is to also learn a little bit about the companies that you are applying to. So don't just randomly apply for jobs. See that what you are looking for also suits you, so that you know it's a good fit. It could be the remuneration, the location of the company, or the company culture. If I go into the 5 tips, the first thing I want to say is know your strengths and weaknesses and really rehearse that. You've got to own it. If I wake you at 2 o'clock in the morning and I ask you what you're good at, you need to be able to tell me. For weaknesses, we all want to say in an interview that we have no weaknesses. For me, that is not an appropriate answer. You need to be able to name 1 or 2 things that you're not really that good at and explain why it is that you're not good at that. There are certain questions that you can prepare for in an interview. You know for sure that they are going to ask you about something that went well in your career, in your job, and they are going to ask you about something that went wrong. So kind of have those examples at top of mind for yourself. And you can just panel beat it to whatever the interviewer is asking you. The other thing is, the second tip would be your brand that you portray when you walk into that room. That is very important. Know what your brand is when you walk into that room. And that goes to the whole package that people experience when they meet you. It's your look, your grooming, it's the energy that you portray, and it's how you present yourself. And you can really think for yourself what that brand wants to be. As you do that though, remember to be authentic. People will be highly aware if you are being fake. The other tip is look at what you can learn about the company that you're going for the interview at. Yes, we can all look at a website, but don't just leave it at that. If you have people in your network that maybe work at that company or they know a little bit about them, ask them about it. So you have something substantial to comment on when you go into the interview. If you don't, and you only have information on the website for the media, try and mention something specific that has caught your eye on that website. So for example, you could mention a specific project or a client that that company works for and have a comment like, I see you have this client that you're working at. I would be really interested to work on that client for the following reasons. That is something that would really make it seem like you've done some good research. And then I think lastly, ask for a glass of water, whether you're thirsty or not. You know, normally people ask you whether you want tea or coffee. Don't ask for tea or coffee because you might spill if you're very nervous, but ask for a glass of water. And the reason I say that is you can have it there and use it as a little bit of a helper if you're feeling stuck or you have a few seconds that you need to compose yourself or just think. I normally take my glass of water and I'll do a bit of sipping, and while I'm sipping, I will be thinking about what I need to say if I feel stuck at all. And of course, remember to breathe. That is a very important one. You know, your interview starts from the minute you get that first phone call to make the arrangements for the interview. You've got to sound professional, you've got to sound approachable, and you've got to sound enthusiastic. I was thinking, you know, it's like when you sign up for a radio competition and you're ready for that phone call. When they phone you, that's what you've got to portray when you answer the phone. Your interview also starts when you walk through the door. It is not only the person that's interviewing you that you've got to impress. It is the security guard, it is the receptionist, it is the person in the parking lot. That really speaks to how you treat people. When it comes to how to get the interview, make sure that your application is clear, it's professional, and it's succinct. These days, a lot of us are operating from our cell phones, especially while we're in transit or during the day. So when you are emailing an application to someone, make sure that it doesn't look like you're sending a WhatsApp message to a friend. A lot of people still forget to even sign their names or to put a contact number at the end of the email. So please remember to do that. The next thing is also then with your CV. What I suggest you do, or strongly recommend you do, is that your CV is checked and prepared to the hilt. You can't be too prepared. And then, of course, have your file saved in a format that is ready for you to send, whether it's on your phone or on your computer. I normally say to people, have 3 files, so have your CV saved separately and a cover letter saved separately, and then have one where the 2 are together. So in whichever format they are requesting you to send it, you've got it at your fingertips. The other thing is get somebody to review your CV. So not all of us would like to have our CV professionally done, but if you are doing it yourself, get someone to review it so that you can see that there's no errors or spelling mistakes or anything like that on your CV. And then, very importantly, adhere to the requirements of the advertisement. If the advertisement is asking for a 1-pager CV, please don't send a 10-pager CV. All you're going to do is frustrate the person that is shortlisting on the other end. Also, read very carefully what the advertisement is asking for in terms of minimum requirements. If you do not meet the minimum requirements of the job, but you're fairly close, for example, they may be asking for 3 years experience, but you have 2, then list either in your application or make it clear on your CV how much of a match you are given your current skills and experience. It may prompt that person to look at your CV as opposed to discarding it because you don't meet the minimum requirements. And I think also remember to put yourself in the shoes of the person that is shortlisting the CV. So that's normally the end of the table that I sit on. If I'm looking at 100 CVs, what would make me want to look at yours? That's really a key for me, because that's what gets your foot in the door. This one is a good one because we are living in an age where people will have up to 7 careers, at least 7 jobs, and at least 4 careers in their lifetime. And I'm sure those that are graduating varsity now and are moving into the working world, they will have even more careers as we move forward in this very fast-paced world. So as you are transitioning your careers, the first thing I want to say is do your research about the field you want to move into. Research doesn't just mean internet research. It could and definitely means asking around. So speak to people in your network. Is someone else in that field that you want to move into? Or do they know someone that they can refer you to? When I was working in corporate and considering moving into consulting, I did a few coffees with people who were already consulting. I, of course, paid for coffee. But I asked them things like what made them go into that space, what did they find challenging, what did they find easy, and what would they recommend to someone wanting to move into that role. That really gave me a bit of insight into what things I should consider and what I thought would suit me and what wouldn't. When it comes to actually preparing your application for jobs in a new field, really look at your current experience and qualifications and look at what we call transferable skills. We all have them. You might think I have nothing that qualifies me for this new field, but I can assure you that you do. When we talk about transferable skills, these are things that we do in our jobs that could help us in another job. We talk about things like communication, report writing, people management, project management, coordination skills, collation of information. You may have heard me mention a lot of things around management, but it doesn't mean if you've got no management experience that you don't have transferable skills. The example I thought of is a waiter. If you, for example, have been a waiter and you were coordinating shift rosters, you could list collation of information and coordination on a job application for an administrative position. So once you've thought through your transferable skills, make sure that you then do a new CV for this new field that you want to apply for and list those transferable skills. The other thing you can also think about is courses that you could do for the new chosen career field, and definitely start attending networking events or any events of interest in that industry or that field. It will continue to give you new insight and perhaps give you an opportunity to meet people that you could network with and hear about companies you could apply to. The other thing we also forget is that we do have exposure to some of these skills in some of our personal projects. We all have done volunteering or we've done extramurals, and there may be some transferable skills lying in that basket. And of course, what you can definitely do immediately is start volunteering for projects and getting involved in jobs that gives you that skills and exposure in your current job. So you can really start building your skill set right away.